Kong is not the apex predator of the Hollow Earth, not even close. Beneath the Earth's crust, in a sealed ecosystem that has been evolving in total isolation for over 250 million years, there are creatures that hunt Kong. Creatures that ate the titans Monarch never found. And at least 3 confirmed species that even the films are too afraid to show in full daylight. Most people think the Hollow Earth is Kong's home. It is not. It is the original biosphere of every titan that ever walked the surface, and what still lives down there is the reason most of them came up. This is every confirmed Hollow Earth species, ranked by what it can actually do to a titan, and the unconfirmed ones Monarch buried in the classified archive. Here is what the films will never explain in a single scene. The Hollow Earth is not a cave system. It is a parallel biosphere. A second world stacked beneath ours, separated by a gravitational inversion boundary so violent it crushed Dr. Nathan Lynn's brother into a smear in a single second. Light down there does not come from the sun. It comes from a single radiation core at the center of the Earth. And that core sustains the entire ecosystem the same way the sun sustains the surface. Every plant glows. Every predator hunts by bioluminescence. And gravity does not work the way it works up here. 250 million years ago, when the surface dried up and the radiation titans needed disappeared, the original primordial fauna of this planet retreated downward. They went home. They have been breeding, evolving, and killing each other in that sealed ecosystem ever since. Kong's species came from there, Godzilla's species came from there. Ghidorah came from somewhere worse, but his rivals, Tiamat, Camazotz, Shimo, all originated down there too. This video covers every confirmed species across the films, the Netflix Skull Island series, the Monarch show, and the canonical comics. The order is the order of evolutionary tier, from the smallest scavengers all the way up to the throne of the Hollow Earth itself. And the final entry is a species so dangerous that Kong refused to fight it. The rock critters, the smallest confirmed life form in the Hollow Earth. Most viewers miss them entirely. Small bipedal scavengers seen in Godzilla x Kong, scampering across the rocks of Kong's territory like rodents. They are not threats to Kong, they are food. But here's the detail that separates them from every other small creature on this list. Rock critters are confirmed pack feeders, and they communicate in cliques. That is not a coincidence. That is the bottom of a working food chain. Wherever rock critters live in large numbers, larger predators follow. The leaf wings, flying insectoid swarm creatures, wingspans the size of a fighter jet. The leafwings are essentially the Hollow Earth's equivalent of locusts, except they are the size of small aircraft and they hunt in clouds of dozens. They strip the bioluminescent flora that powers the lower atmosphere of the Hollow Earth. In every shot of Kong walking through the underworld in Godzilla vs. Kong, leafwings are in the background. They are the proof that this ecosystem is alive, the proof that something is feeding them, and the proof that something larger is eating them. The verticines. Verticines are massive quadrupedal herbivores with glowing bioluminescent backs. They are seen calmly grazing in the Hollow Earth as Kong passes them. They do not attack. They do not flee. They simply continue feeding because nothing in their visible radius is a threat to them. Here is what most people miss. Verticines have a defense mechanism nobody has explained on screen. Their backs are not just glowing for decoration. The bioluminescence pulses on a frequency that warns smaller predators away. That is why nothing attacks them. And in the films, every time a verticine herd suddenly scatters, something genuinely dangerous is about to enter the scene. Verticines are the canary. When they run, the apex is coming. One detail worth knowing. In the Monarch documentation seen in the Godzilla x Kong, the hunted prequel comic, the species cataloged from the Hollow Earth are given MUTO classification numbers. Massive unidentified terrestrial organism. The same system used for surface titans. Except the file numbers skip. Specifically, certain numbers are blank, redacted. Which means Monarch has cataloged species they refuse to publicly name. The estimate based on the file gaps is at least 11 undisclosed Hollow Earth species. 11. That Monarch has actively hidden from its own staff. Keep that number in mind. The Photodons. Ground tier apex predators. Reptilian, low-slung, and built for ambush. These are the lizard dogs that attack Kong's resting site in Godzilla vs. Kong. They are not Skullcrawlers. They are smaller, faster, and they hunt in coordinated packs. Their jaws are designed to lock. Once a Pterodon bites, it does not let go until the prey stops moving. Kong kills several of them in the film, but the way he kills them is significant. He does not toy with them, he executes them. Which tells you something important about how dangerous Kong considers them to be. The Hellhawks. Flying, smaller than warbats, faster and worse. The Hellhawks are the swarm-class flying predators of the Hollow Earth. Avian, leathery, with glowing eyes and razor mandibles. They are not solo hunters. They come in flocks of dozens, and they attack anything that moves. In Godzilla vs. Kong, Hellhawks shred an Apex cybernetics craft in seconds when Maya Simmons' gunfire draws their attention. They are not impressive individually. They are devastating as a unit. Imagine a tornado made of meat-eating birds the size of helicopters. That is the Hellhawks, the Skar buffalo. Massive quadrupedal herd herbivores, tank class. Skar buffalo are seen in the herds Kong walks past in Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire. Bulky, armored with curved tusks. They are not predators. They are obstacles. Anything trying to hunt a Skar buffalo herd is dealing with a stampede the size of a city block. The Skar buffalo are the proof that not every threat in the Hollow Earth is a predator. Some of them are simply too large to compete with. The warbats. Flying serpents the size of subway trains. The warbats are the species that nearly killed Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong before he found the throne room. Aerial predators with wing membranes that double as suffocation tools. They constrict like pythons in midair. The species attacks in pairs, confirmed mating behavior, and they hunt by bioluminescent sight. When Kong takes one of them down, he tears its head off and drinks the blood. That is not cruelty. That is canonical grade ape behavior. Warbat blood contains a stimulant. Kong used it to recover. His weapon, the bone axe, is most likely carved from a warbat ancestor. Look at the curvature. The Frostbark, one species worth knowing about that almost nobody discusses. In the marketing artwork and concept material released around Godzilla x Kong, a creature called the Frostbark appears. Cold-adapted, quadrupedal, designed for the frozen sectors of the Hollow Earth where Shimo's influence once spread. Frostbarks are referenced in supplementary materials but never receive a clear on-screen appearance, which means the Hollow Earth has climate zones, frozen sectors, jungle sectors, volcanic sectors, and each zone has its own evolved predators that the films have not had time to show. That is the depth of this ecosystem. Climate zones, subspecies per zone. The Skullcrawlers. Now the list gets serious. Skullcrawlers are the species that wiped out Kong's entire family. They are bipedal reptilian predators with elongated necks, two-fingered hands, and prehensile tails that double as bludgeons. They emerge from a Hollow Earth passageway directly beneath Skull Island. They reproduce at terrifying speed. Kong's parents died defending a newborn Kong from a single mature Skullcrawler, and Kong watched it happen. The thing most people miss about Skullcrawlers is that they are not native to Skull Island. They are Hollow Earth refugees. They escaped through the vortex and could never go back, which is also why they are so aggressive. They are not predators in their natural ecosystem. They are an invasive species in a smaller one, and like every invasive species, they breed until they consume everything. Mire squids and mother longlegs. The Skull Island fauna that came from below. Mire squids, massive tentacled cephalopods seen in Kong's Skull Island. Mother longlegs, colossal spider-like predators with bone spike legs camouflaged as bamboo. Both of these creatures are now confirmed to be Hollow Earth refugees. They came up through the Skull Island vortex generations ago and adapted to the surface. They are the proof that the Hollow Earth ecosystem has been leaking onto Skull Island for thousands of years. Which means Skull Island itself is essentially a contamination zone. A small surface biome populated by Hollow Earth species that escaped and could not return. The Great Apes Kong species. The Hollow Earth was once home to an entire civilization of great apes. Not one or two, thousands. They built cities. They forged weapons. They mined the radiation core. They had a king. They had a throne. They had culture, language, and a working military hierarchy. Then they had a civil war. Kong's lineage was wiped out by Skullcrawlers on the surface. But the species that stayed in the Hollow Earth survived under a tyrant. Which brings the list to the final tier, Zuko, the juvenile great ape who chose Kong. Zuko is canonically the last free child of the surviving Hollow Earth ape lineage. Roughly Kong's adopted son by the end of Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire. He is small, fast, and clearly bred in captivity under the Skar King's regime. The detail that separates Zuko from every other ape in the Hollow Earth is that he picked the right side. He showed Kong the way to the BEAST gauntlet. He led Kong to the rebellion, he gave Kong a son, the Skar King, the tyrant, the dictator, the reason Kong came home. The Skar King is the dominant great ape of the Hollow Earth ape civilization. Smaller than Kong, but more cunning. He rules through fear, through enslaved labor, and through a single weapon, a vertebrae whip, that lets him control the only titan he should never have been able to enslave. The Skar King is what happens when intelligence is divorced from morality. He is the proof that the great apes were not all noble protectors like Kong. Some of them were exactly what humans warned about. Tool-using primates who became conquerors. The Iwi connection, one detail Monarch buried. The Iwi natives of Skull Island, the deaf-speaking tribe Gia comes from, are not the original Iwi. There is canonically a second Iwi tribe still living in the Hollow Earth. They escaped down through the vortex during the Great Titan Wars, and they survived. They communicate telepathically with the surviving great apes. They built the architecture seen in Kong's throne room. They are the reason Kong knew where to go. That means the Hollow Earth has a sentient humanoid species still alive down there, right now. And the Monarch animated series, Skull Island, hinted at exactly this. Shimo, the ancient ice titan. Shimo is not native to the surface. She is older than Godzilla, older than Ghidorah. She is the cold-blooded ice titan whose presence triggered an ice age long ago. And her natural temperature is so low it freezes a titan the size of a skyscraper in under 4 seconds. She is the Skar King's slave. He controls her with a crystal embedded in the back of her skull and pain compliance through his whip. Shimo is the most powerful confirmed Hollow Earth species in the film canon. Period. Tiamat, the Gate Guardian. Tiamat is the electrical sea serpent titan introduced in Godzilla x Kong. She is canonically guarding one of the Hollow Earth vortexes. She is not technically Hollow Earth fauna. She lives at the threshold, but she is the reason Godzilla absorbs an entire reactor before going underground. He needed her radiation to power up enough to confront what was below. Tiamat, the Gate Guardian. Tiamat is the electrical sea serpent titan introduced in Godzilla x Kong. She is canonically guarding one of the Hollow Earth vortexes. She is not technically Hollow Earth fauna. She lives at the threshold, but she is the reason Godzilla absorbs an entire reactor before going underground. He needed her radiation to power up enough to confront what was below. Tiamat is the door. Everything else on this list is what is behind the door. Camazotz, the Bat Titan. Camazotz is canonical from the Kingdom Kong graphic novel. A massive sky titan with bat-like anatomy and a hatred of light that mirrors Kotsudo, the king of Skullcrawlers. Camazotz almost killed Kong before Godzilla vs. Kong. He is not commonly discussed in the films, but he is in the official canon. And he originated from a Hollow Earth passageway in Latin America. He is the proof that the Hollow Earth has more than one vortex and more than one apex flyer. Kong has lived in the Hollow Earth for less than 3 years. Godzilla has been to its edges and turned back. And there is a creature down there that has not been seen on the surface for 26,000 years that is about to come up. Because Godzilla x Kong Supernova is releasing in March 2027, and every single clue points to one of the redacted 11 coming to the surface for the first time. The Hollow Earth ecosystem is not Kong's kingdom. It is the original Earth, and it is sending something up. Subscribe to Titan Lore for amazing Monsterverse videos.